Welcome to the North American portion of the show that takes place in North America. I'm joined by Dan, I'm joined by Launders. We are here for 4 games of North American Counter-Strike. I'm looking forward to it. I'm sure these guys are as well. Welcome to the show. Let's have a look and see what matches we have coming up today. 4 best of ones for you. We're going to see 4 different teams. Bish, Bash, Bosch. I think the Bish, Bash, Bostickers, by the way, are awesome. Optic Gaming will be coming up versus Luminosity on Nuke and Train, and then E United, also, well, not also, but formerly known as Rise Nation, will be up against NRG. And that is good. I mean, it's all eyes on NRG at the moment to see if they can keep a clean sheet. Can they keep a clean sheet, Launders?
Yeah, I think so. I think that, well, I think if United don't get slapped up and down here, NRG is just everything that we've talked about with them gets thrown out the window. We saw E United play against Complexity and Renegades, you know, so those are matches that they were surprisingly close and that United actually were able to win a couple of, and maybe or come close to win a couple of. But like NRG are supposed to be miles ahead of them, so it's going to be very interesting. I like these matchups a lot. We get to finally see like a change up in terms of the tier of team versus the other one in North America.
Where do you stand on these proceedings, Dan?
I think Optic keeps surprising me, and so I'm starting to learn to once again respect Stanislaus' influence again, because again I feel like it's something that we sort of forgot about. I think he was rising in such a huge storyline back in the Optic days. You know, what time of the year is it? Okay, like last year when he created that Optic lineup with Nafly, Mixwell, and so on, and they were doing Rush, and they were doing so well together. So now it feels like if you look at the team and what we've seen already, they've actually got a really nice structure. We're starting to see that come in again, and we're actually starting to see his influence. So I don't want to count them out against Luminosity. I think there's a lot to be exploited here. I think this could be quite a close matchup. But as far as the United and NRG are concerned, I feel like NRG are just too good, even though I want to believe. Because I'm actually enjoying United a lot right now.
Great.
So, do we have time to look at the leaderboard? I don't know how close we are. Okay, we do have time. Let's have a look at the leaderboard and see where these, what the standings are at the moment. NRG 8-4-0. They've been spanking fools. And we'll see if they can go 10-0 for today. Complexity hasn't gone well for them so far. Optic Gaming is still early days for them, but we're about to see them. Optic Gaming versus Luminosity. And yeah, Dan just mentioned Optic Gaming and Stanislaus, but he didn't mention I'm a Pet, who is, I mean, he provides a lot of interesting things to a team, and I'm sure somebody like Stanislaus will pick that up. Apparently, he's part of the reason why he stayed on the team. So we're seeing some more Nuke Luminosity starting on the CT side. 9 plays of Kevlar. Config has gone for the Deagle. He is somewhat notorious with the Deagle. Again, if you are just joining us for the North American show, make sure your FACEIT account is linked to your YouTube account. You can do it in your FACEIT settings and integrations, because there will be drops in every match of this season. So make sure you're eligible for those.
Quick push into the upper site, and it's chaos. 3v3, the bomb can't yet go down safely, so the T's shall hold, but the CTs may hold as well, as the bomb is not yet planted, so somewhat of a stalemate, but the bomb is offered up. Oh, very, very nice. Clean, crisp, neat. Beautiful shots from PKL.
Very descriptive, Dan.
Adjectives.
You are full of energy today.
I slept.
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I respect the attempt to rotate there. They realized that they were not in the best position on A with CT high ground advantage.
I would have indeed called the exact same thing. Once he heard the extra guy got me with ladder, he knew there was a second one there. It's like, all right, let's just drop, get a reset. Don't have to smoke for the plant. The CTs have to come to us one more time. So PKL was doing God's work there for Luminosity, hitting those 2 shots. God's plan, James.
I was enjoying the silence. Snek is gliding along the pole, but he's unable to get anything done there.
I heard there's a lot of that in Atlanta.
Gliding on poles.
It's true.
Very good, Launders, very good. I've never experienced it myself.
Sam. Very nice crosshair placement, but then just going for it with the Deagle. Deagle is a gun you've got to respect. If you respect the Deagle will respect you.
Some of the time. Actually, I've been getting in there with the Deagle now. There was a long period of time where I just suddenly couldn't use it anymore. But now I'm a beast again. I am a beast. I am the beast. Don't watch the Reddit highlights.
I think Daniel said that hallmark of a good Deagle player is one of them at least is good first shot accuracy. It's definitely true. I think the other one is good crosshair placement. I think if
the hallmark of a good Deagle player is headshots.
Crosshair placement.
Headshots.
Crosshair placement.
Yeah, but if you will find that AWPers, a lot of AWPers will swipe with a Deagle like a sniper rifle.
First accuracy. That was the first tenet of.
I think the first
commandment.
Look, man, it's headshots, yeah. Double scouts for Luminosity. Optic creeping. That's a massive crouch peek from Stanislaw. Seems to have an idea of where these players might be. Takes both sniper rifle players down on this round. Nice.
Did an interview with Stanislaw once, and I forgot to ask him about his name. I think it's actually his middle name.
Stanislaw.
Yeah.
I've heard of many Slaws, but Stanislaw. But you know, like actual Slaw names.
Maybe wouldn't it be Stanislav or?
I think it would be, yeah.
I don't know, like what
it's
influences
Polish.
he had. Okay, well then it would be Stanislav then.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't actually know how you pronounce that in Polish.
Well,
but
in Polish, a W is a V.
Yeah, but I don't know if it's the same at the end as it is in the beginning, or how that works. But
someone tweet us if you are Polish or
I know Polish people.
Otherwise, know how to say the name. Please confirm. Is it Stanislav or Stanislaw?
Okay, let me send a message. I will ask for a voice message.
Because also the other thing with Stan's name, I've never heard him say to anybody that he wants it one way or the other. I don't know if he cares. Some players just don't care.
Yeah, I don't think. I think some people just want it to sound right for whoever is saying it. So sometimes it's better, like Freiberg.
Well, yes, it's
you know,
like
he says
vague.
just say it. You know, just say it the way that's comfortable.
Freiberg.
Because to say it properly in a Swedish accent, you risk just destroying it.
There's one player who had is Ritten, but like no one could really say. That was actually very, very hard to say, and but at the same time you didn't want to say skitten, which just sounds weird. I don't know. So, but he exited professional Counter-Strike a long time ago, so I was secretly happy about that. So I never had to. Really
Sky Kitten.
Sky Kitten, yeah. That's how I pronounced it. Good couple of rounds so far for Optic Gaming, OG.
Okay, you got a main smoke there, which will block some vision to the outside.
Yeah, just hit puberty.
Yeah. My voice. What is it? Gade is going to drop in soon enough, perhaps, once he's got some more teammates. Getting info for him. Well, there you go. Cello dying towards main. That will definitely signal to Gade that he can just drop down for free. There was another man there. Perhaps he didn't expect that, but it's just pistols anyway, so they're all dead. Pretty decent anti-eco from Optic Gaming. And it still for me is like takes some getting used to. It's such a strange combination of players. Honestly, like you look at it, and at first glance, it's like a Danish team, you know, Config, Cajun B, and you've got Shazam.
Shazam.
I was like, what's happening there? Where did Shazam come from?
Shazam.
How did he get onto this Danish team?
It's a hodgepodge of players, Dan.
Yeah, it is hodgepodge. It's a menagerie.
A real jambalaya.
Although I think menagerie only refers to an assortment of different animals, I think.
Don't know.
But I'm going to use menagerie.
I feel like I don't read enough books anymore. I read magazines.
Do you know why, Jay?
But I need to read books.
Because you need a Kindle, that's why.
It's because I have a Nintendo Switch.
Because you need a Kindle.
I probably do, but first I must get through my books, my physical books.
But you never will.
I once,
they're not on a Kindle.
My dad once said to me, "What do you want for your birthday?" And I said, "Books."
Knowledge.
So he got me about 30 books, literally. He had the back of his car full of books. I'm like, dude, I didn't want ask for books, a lifetime of books. What do I do with all these bloody books? Anyway, Luminosity stopping the Optic charge through the secret position. Very quickly placed CT. And that compromises what Optic can do, what they can sell in terms of information to their opponents. Clearing the ramp position. See what Nekes chooses to do. Different approach on this occasion, but I don't know how much support he has behind him. Unable to get anything done here. PKL double doors. Wide open. That leaves him wide open as well.
That is really tough sometimes when you open the door. This round's not over though. Or is it?
It is very over.
When you open the door into so many different angles, it's kind of like when you jump up on a box and you don't know exactly where the person's going to be when you jump up, and then it opens you up to a really, really awkward flick. So if you peek an angle, it's a little different. If you jump up on something and it's just like a whole room of angles in front of you, it can make it much harder to hit.
Potential landing inaccuracy as well.
Okay, I've got a voice message back. I couldn't even hear that. Hold on. Where's my volume? There we go. Did she say Stanislav?
Stanislav. Suave?
Sounded like Swav.
Yeah.
Your source is suspicious, James.
My source is fluent in Polish and half Polish.
So I'm suspicious.
Yeah, she says Stanisław. Look, she even put the phonetic spelling there.
Oh.
So it's Stanisław.
Really?
Almost Stanislav. We should call him Stanislav when he goes nuclear.
No.
Stanislave.
Stanislav. Right then, I want to call him Stanislav.
Stanislav.
But it's not Stanislav, it's Stanislav. So extended E, Stanislav.
I feel like we got a lot more than we wanted here.
We should probably stick to.
For the purpose of commentary, I will go with Stanislav.
Oh, I'm not sure. On your behalf.
You're not sure of pronouncing it in the correct fashion?
Well, we don't know what he wants.
He'll probably keep it basic. For people like you, Launders.
Damn. He gave you a shirt, a keycap. All this disrespect, I don't know how to process this.
I just don't want to commit to having to say it myself and then risk not saying it totally perfectly and making it worse.
I will definitely not pronounce it perfectly if it's Stanislav.
Yeah. But even if you get it right, now I'm in this boat too. You know, you're dragging me on this boat, James.
Well, it's weird too, because like for example with Stiko, I've told so many people that his name's Stiko because we interviewed him and asked him how do you say your name. He said Stiko. He even said Stiko like Hiko, like Nico, Stiko.
Well, that seems obvious to me.
Well, yeah, I agree. But you know, for example, Henry says Sticko.
Henry says everything wrong though.
He does. He does. What does he say? He says Navi as well instead of Navi. It's funny. But then everyone started copying him. Anyway, very fast rifle round here from Optic Gaming. Honestly, just winning all their fights, just pushing everything. If you can win a round like that on the T side of Nuke, that's a good sign. That is a good sign.
This should definitely have been one of their. It's going to be like one of the 3 chances they're going to have this half with everything. So it's pretty, I think, demoralizing for them to lose in such a clean fashion. Optic just busting outside and upper at the exact same time. No kills. You never thought T-side was this easy.
Yeah, exactly. It's quite strange. I'm still working out, you know, myself some of the, because I liked all the changes except I wasn't a fan of the hut window being removed.
I hate that.
Because everything else I actually kind of like. Some of the stuff on the lower bomb site I'm not so sure about, like the addition of, you know,
Boxes.
the boxes and stuff like that. I'm not so sure about it. But generally speaking, I think some of the changes are pretty cool, but it's still quite difficult to read out like what is actually quite strong or what is quite exploitable or quite weak. So I'm still trying to figure that out.
The only defense I have now after watching the map for a little bit with the hut window is it's nice when you're entering through mini that you don't have to worry about that angle, even though you would think that's something that the T's would want to help them get out.
Yeah.
It's a double-edged sword.
Indeed.
I have 3 swords.
It's a weird James fact.
If you know me, nothing is really weird. I think I live my life by making all weird, or many weird things normal. For me.
That's weird too.
That is weird. Luminosity, struggling. Yeah, I liked the hut window, just because I liked it. I like buying an AUG and shooting through it from metal. But I'm interested to see how it plays out. We require data, and Cello is delivering some data with these 180s. Look at his swipe. I learned from Dan that it's very important to be able to do consistent 180s, no matter what your sensitivity is.
Definitely helps. It helps. Also 90 degrees. Ooh. Okay. Maybe there's a chance back into this round. Cello started things off very well with the CZ. Like Cello has, like, showed you there with that first CZ kill exactly the kind of style of peeking that you need to do when you have a gun like the CZ, and that's actually why it's so strong. So very difficult to get back into this round. The bomb being lost in lobby is the least of their problems. The fact that there's now 2 AKs on these CTs, the fact that they can be absolutely anywhere, that's also an issue, and we can see that it'll be quite punishing. Very unlikely round from Luminosity. Oh, there we go. Yeah. You can see that he wants to take.
Crazy.
He wants to like run in as much as possible, take as wide peaks as possible with the CZ. And also, like, in doing this, like these jiggles, it makes it more likely your opponent will miss the first shot and then have to compensate, which makes them less likely they'll actually kill you. Buy yourself some time. Is there a gap? Oh, was a kind of a small. There's no gap.
Oh, they re-smoked it.
There's no gap.
There's enough of a gap there, however. Oh, he's just going for the info.
Oh!
4.
Did he see him?
He just wants to see. He wants the info.
Did he see him? Because there was a walk peeking. I mean, he could have definitely hit that shot. Maybe it's spectator smoke, though. Maybe he even saw even less than we did.
That's not as bad as it used to be, though, is it?
The spectator smoke?
Yeah. Because I feel like it used to be worse. Anyway.
Oh, dear.
Cello trying to hold on to the area around B, but it's proving difficult. Many people spotted around the control area. But they kind of don't have the back of B, and here they come to take it. Cello traded by the AWP of Shazam. And Nekes, who's been the first man down a lot of rounds here on the B bomb site, continues to hold. And this is a monstrous round for Luminosity. 4 players alive. If they can continue in this fashion, bodes well for the rest of this half.
This is a really good example of some good CT fundamentals of Nuke. So if you have the information, like the information and repositioning is more important than taking the fights very often. Because look how hard it is to get onto this site when all the CTs are in position. It's so difficult. And especially now, because the bomb site, like look at this spot here for Nekes. That like he cannot be seen from ramp. So that makes that spot even, like those boxes are so strong for the CTs.
I just think it's crazy that Sliggy caught every single one of those kills.
That's true.
Literally every single kill. That was impressive.
Impressive. We should get an observer tipping button, so people can tip him every time they think that he deserves a tipping. Showtime, traded out there as the fast push comes into the upper bomb site. A 3-3 ensues. Optic changing at the pace once more, going back to what has been working fairly well. Very nice headshots from Cajun B, leaving Pickle alone.
Packing pickles, mate. Nobody will get that reference on this broadcast, apart from me, but that's fine. 1 versus 2 now for PKL. They know where he is. They're planting for the other side of the silo. That's a chunky grenade. Quietly moving around. No window again, so this is a lot easier for him. But it's still not easy. He does not have a kit. Oh, great timing there for him, but not for Shazam. And now he charges through. Cajun B in a deep corner. And it's PKL to sink.
Sometimes, like, I still like wonder about like the window. Is it helping or is it hindering? Because having the option to just jump out of it and reposition it can be really effective too.
Well, it's different, isn't it?
The hut is bigger and wider, like the door's wider as well.
Yeah, I don't think. I think it's hard to say that the window is lack of window there is good or bad, especially at this stage. I think it's just different, but we'll have to see.
Ooh, okay.
But I think one of the important things is to try and change the play on the map as well, especially with people not playing it, although mostly it's because they're just bad, in my opinion. or didn't want to put the time in to develop the map, but we are where we are.
Yeah. I just liked it for the repositional value, because resetting with reposition is really important. But we shall see how things go. For Luminosity, things are not going too well. There's been some hope, actually. They've had some really good rounds. But Optic, I think, you know, they're starting to adjust a bit. We saw them going back to the tried and tested, the tried and true, which was the upper bomb side attacks, which now there's been quite a few of. And no, gets the dink. No, he did. Oh, he didn't actually.
Might have been through the wall.
Yeah, I thought I heard the sounds, so perhaps it was. Showtime! Locking it down with this. They've got quite a few silencers. What is this?
2-on-2, scramble towards the B bomb site. Shazam planting the bomb around the back, trying to reposition, but he's been instantly compromised. Doesn't land a fatal shot onto Yell. Yell in the red, they're both in the red now. And Shazam will simply finish them both off with a P2 Fiddy.
How did he get that first kill? Was that in the vents? That must have been a crazy shot that he hit. Wow, it's a good round from Showtime, but I've always wondered if he was a Lakers fan. You know, it was like Showtime was the...
No, what does that mean?
Came from the Lakers in the Kobe Bryant era when they wanted to make basketball super popular. Did this thing, Showtime, where they would make the games like way more exciting to watch. They did a lot for basketball. Sorry? Magic Johnson?
Is this like a thing I can read about?
Yeah.
I will investigate.
There was a very famous Warcraft 3 player a long time ago called Showtime, Korean, in 2003.
Been corrected by production. Got the error wrong.
There was a channel on American TV called Showtime.
It's true too.
There was a popular sitcom called Hang Time. Hang Time, hanging together. No?
If you sang the theme song, it wouldn't have been popular.
Putting it all on the line. Well, sitcoms aside, the score is now 9-3 for Optic Gaming. Luminosity struggling. The struggle bus, all aboard the struggle bus.
I forgot about the struggle bus. The wheels are falling off. It's crazy when you're on an American motorway and you see those, like they, never mind, we'll come to it later. Looks like a fast run from Optic charging into the A side. We've got grenades on the CT vents. Cello is dropping and Showtime will drop twice. And there is Yell taken out as well. A burst into the A bomb site and it's a 4 versus 2. PKL slowly walking in to get eliminated by Config. All the headshots for Config. He got every single kill.
Yeah, he got 4. And this last one might be offered up to him, Nekas. Will you fight, dude?
He's got to hear him running. Nekas had to have heard him running.
Oh, he wants it so bad.
Let me ace! Let me ace!
Denied.
Oh, nice. Through the hole.
What a round from Config.
Yeah,
Man,
clean.
and they've just done these really strong up. That was a great late flash. It didn't blind anyone from Squeaky, and the guy in heaven was totally blind. That's perfect. They've got a good upstairs take.
Those hand wraps are kind of cool. I haven't seen those before.
Yeah, the upper bomb site has been really reliable for them, actually. We've seen them, like, we saw them going away from it a little bit after they got the initial successes, but as soon as they started to have problems, they just went straight back to it. And I like now that they continue to do it against buy rounds, even though Luminosity can likely expect it. But again, it's one of those things where if you're doing something and it's working, sometimes it's better just to do it until it doesn't work, until you force adaptation, and maybe the adaptation could be bad. Some teams are not necessarily going to make the right calls for how do you adapt to stuff, and
Sometimes they just don't. They don't figure it out for the entire game.
yeah, I've seen a bunch of games won in that manner. I remember one which was like Titan against Astralis from like a year and a half ago or something, or longer, I guess, where it was like very much the case on Cash, where Existence had this B take on Cash, and Astralis had no idea how to adapt to it. And he just kept doing it. And then they kept trying to adjust, and every adjustment they made was wrong. And this is like Astralis, a team that has very good fundamental understanding of the game.
Yeah, sometimes because you haven't talked about things, you're really just scrimming almost.
Ooh.
That's nuts. But there are two distinct schools of thought on this. That one is that you should just keep doing it, and the other is that you should keep it in your arsenal, but you should also throw in chain zip and bring it back later in the half.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I've definitely heard two directly diametrically opposed opinions from pros on this, which I thought was really interesting.
Yeah, it's very interesting how different people look at the game, and because there is so much variance in the game, we don't quite have some of the analytical tools. There's no Cello does this. He's doing some damage though, making this annoying. But yeah, I don't think we have currently the types of analytical tools that we would need to answer some of these questions or get closer to an answer, because there's a lot of ambiguity. Because we often work from sample sizes of data that's just simply too small. And so I think we need tools.
And there's also the argument that, you know, it'll always be circumstantial.
Yeah, yeah.
Also be read-based and, you know, IGL versus IGL type of thing.
Yes, yeah. There's the whole meta element becomes, yeah. That's a really interesting one. Double orbs for both sides. You can see though it is last round, so Config is throwing an AK so that he can go and pick it up when he's done with the AWP. It is kind of nice, I guess, having the window gone just for the CTs to feel just a touch safer. Ooh. Okay, Cajun Beast not messing around, straight down the vents. Hello.
Oh wow, this is
stressful.
Oh my god.
What do you do against that?
Oh my god.
I don't even know, man.
Cajun B on the rifle. Wants to match his teammate Config. 3 kills for Cajun B.
That reminds me of something that I wanted to look at more. It's the old Nuke, but it was the way Rops would play Squeaky, because Rops would, like in their defaults, in Mouse Sports' defaults, Rops would always drop the same smoke almost every single round, just a little bit in front of the Squeaky vent. And sometimes, you know, that can like pull the main player away from outside. It can be that Ross is standing in that smoke sometimes. Sometimes he won't be. Sometimes he'll be spamming it. But it creates spots where he knows the position so well and how his opponents respond that he knows that sometimes he can just go down the vents. And then that can happen. And if you call it as the CTs, then the ramp guys have to come down. So much happens in the way of rotation. It's really powerful.
Charge towards the ramp position. Stanislaw, only man with that Kevlar, smoking a diffuse kit for him, and it's Gade who is backing up and up and up and up, and he will have to try and settle on this position, trying to make it as awkward as possible. Jumping, peeking will be punished, but it's the Luminosity players with the bomb site, and this is a much needed pistol round for them.
Ooh, it's tough, but they're making a go of it. Config in there with a headshot, but quickly returned, and then some from Luminosity, who are looking fantastic. And they'll claim themselves the pistol, but can they have as effective of a T-side
Legitimacy
as their opponents? Hey, I made that smooth. Made that smooth, no brain farts. It's a slight hiccup.
Please don't fart in the studio.
You brain fart all the time, James.
4 to 12. Oh yes, grenades on the outside. Are they early enough? They do a combined 10 damage, of course. I think it did 5 and 5. I saw the life bar move twice. Well, whatever it did, combined 10. Could have been over 100, but it was 10.
Quick maths. Long, drawn-out maths.
Fine, you talk.
Okay, I'll try. We have outside presence for Luminosity. Shazam is looking in. There's not too much that Optic can probably do here. Depends, though, how Luminosity move together, because some of these positions, the pistols and the UMP, could be very strong, actually. So there's certainly a lot of danger to be navigated by Luminosity. And they're just waiting. Luminosity did, I think, in the addition of Cello and Nekis, they did become a team that waited less on average, but previous to that, they were a team that waited perhaps the most on average. So, starting to make a move now, 40 seconds left.
Oh, you didn't expect to see that.
Yeah, but I don't think he can do much with it. Indeed, gets shut down. And Luminosity were kind of waiting for this. I mean, that's why they've taken this long, drawn-out approach to the rounds in their anti-eco or anti-force plane or whatever it might be, it's still the sort of same strategy, the same ethos behind it. We wait, we see if they try to take initiative, we punish, then we move as a team to the bomb site. Very simple.
Perhaps Luminosity can have as successful a T-side as Optic did. Although Optic seemed to be running riot on their T-side towards the end of it, displaying the individual skill. That was a fast headshot from Showtime, maybe telling of what Luminosity can do as this game progresses.
I think the one really cool thing for Optic Gaming on their T-side was having that, like they had that one strat, that one play in their playbook, which was the way that they hit upper and all of the, because as you said, like it's obviously very coordinated. They had some really good nades to do it, and it was reliably a solution. Do Luminosity have a reliable solution against the buy rounds of Optic? That's really where this is for me. Oh, the outside rush. It's done nothing, but it was cool. It's cool to see everyone outside. Imagine if they had HEs. Or the new negatives. Imagine if they had 5 negatives.
Oh, those are in the game now. Those have been activated.
Yeah, exactly.
But they move really slowly. It's almost like TF2 heavy, actually. It's basically TF2 heavy.
Change, just line them up
with a laser
next to each other in a garage.
I tried the negative on Banana to see if it would go through the wall, and it doesn't.
Oh, really?
Presumably because of the adjustment to the bullets, so they don't one-shot anymore. Which kind of, it would be the best use of it, so.
Yeah, I don't really understand how they've changed the machine gun, so it's no longer anything like a machine gun in any sense. Just make a new gun.
Fate did some great damage, but they've also dropped down by also killing the Turnpike player, so 3-man retake. Is it likely? Oh, he's already on the site.
Wow, nice spray. Stanislav. Here he goes. 1v4. They say you should lead by example. Let's see what example he will set.
Stanislav.
Stanislav, that.
Not calling him Stanislav. Okay. I'm going to sound like Elmer Fudd.
Stanislav.
Let's just play that instead.
As the commentary?
Yeah.
Stanislav.
It has died.
There we go.
Oh dear.
It's a team effort.
Stanislav. Stanislav. Stanislav.
What have we unleashed?
This is your doing, James. This is you. It's all you. You need to take ownership.
Wall of smoke outside. Pistols again for Optic Gaming. Not been a fruitful CT half for either side, but obviously Optic Gaming have built already, so it's better for them than it was for Luminosity in that regard. They know where the line is, and by the time Luminosity get there, if things keep going this way, Optic will at least have lots of loss bonus.
Optic Gaming. I do wonder what their setups will look like on the outside as well. Some teams do like to play outsides a bit aggressively, and some like to play safer setups outside where it's more about getting info and staying on top of CT rotations. Because the unique thing about this map is absolutely the rotation times. It's actually advantageous for the CTs, which is most maps. It's not necessarily the case there. Actually, it's actually the opposite.
Yeah, no one's even close. No one's even close to Nuke. Literally 2-second drop at events from the other side.
Yeah, it's the sites being stacked on each other is definitely a pretty cool feature of Nuke. And so that definitely enters into the fundamentals. Like Nuke CT side is often about just staying alive, getting information, and your rotations. Like those are like Those are some good CT basics. But at the high level, you do not want to have your game only marked by the basics. You want to take some risks. You want to be unpredictable. You want to create some pressure on the other team.
Rush ramp got him through the last buy round, the first of the half, but that showed us that CT rounds don't come free. I think that it is possible to have great T-sides legitimately on Nuke, even on this map, but I think the main advantage that CTs have is how difficult it is for terrorists to get the opening kill. So
Right.
I think that's the sticking point for anyone on the T side. How do we find that? And that's one way.
Wow. Wow, how are they lining up for him there? That is monstrous stuff. They're straight in there on main. Look at how Luminosity are finding success on the upper side as well. Stanislav able to do some good damage here. Nice adjustment there into Cello into the hut position as it rests upon Gade and Shazam. Now to do the damage to return Optic to success. Shazam. He's ready to dive up that ladder.
Oh boy.
Climb that ladder. How's he climbing the ladder and holding a gun in his hands at the same time?
And a flash.
I could do it.
That's impressive. Oh, the flick! Missed, he spotted the barrel.
Smoke out. Oh.
But now he's creating distraction. Oh dear.
That's a sick smoke, dude.
Oh wow, that smoke is so good. But the flames. Shazam is in such a horrible position. There's no way for him to do anything here. It's up to Gade. Also, a very, very peculiar angle for Gade to try to work off of, and he's going to have to back away. Ultimately, too much has been done here. Very weird 2v2.
That was so strange. Gade seemed to think that there was an extra person on the site or something. They knew that he was in inside mini. And I think he needed to go up sooner. There was no way, in my mind, that Shazam dies first on that retake because his fight in mini has him smoked out. That was a great smoke, though, but like for the retake, it's just like right here, he was just so lost for some reason.
Must have, yeah, either missed call or he just didn't realize the amount of people left alive. That does happen, I guess, from time to time. Although rarely you would think at this level. I would imagine that probably 99% of pros have a, well, hold that thought for a moment. It's just a quick rush into the upper site. Stanislav is ready. Stanislav.
Oh.
Stanislav on the A site.
And that was 5 deaths last round as well. So,
Stanislav.
damn, Luminosity had a lot of money.
I had a really cool point and I stopped it because of the rush. I don't remember what it was. I have no idea now.
Well, thanks for blue balling the rest of us, Dan.
Yeah. What was happening in the round previous to that? I didn't remember. If only I knew.
They like rushed into mini from outside.
Yeah, I have no idea what I was going to say. There's some insight there. This is going to be great. Oh well. It's gone with the wind. Shazam. Oh, I remember what it was now. We'll come back to that. Hey guys.
Keep us posted.
Yeah. Showtime in Cajun B. The Battle of Patience. Maybe the Battle of Politeness.
Who will be more British in this situation?
Politeness battle. Who is more gentlemanlike? Very late grenades here from Luminosity on the outside position, which is quite cool. It's a mix-up of pacing, an important fundamental in a Counter-Strike. There's a lot to be said about pacing. Now Showtime can finally take what is his, but Agent B is being polite elsewhere. He has house guests. They come in numbers. The table is set.
Oh, they've got both stairs. 2 headshot angles to deal with here. This is intense. Oh, that was so sick!
God.
What?
Config is on fire at the moment.
That's insane.
I thought Cajun got somebody. But the car is just all config.
Oh, he's denied the ace again.
Oh, depressing. But
That's
that
a clip, man. That's a clip no matter what. That's amazing.
That was so fantastic.
Let's go take a look at the pallet bodies afterwards.
If PKL could win this, although he's running away from the oh, never mind. No time.
Time.
Oh my god.
That was...
4 bursts.
That's crazy. But again, do you remember when that wasn't possible before? When Valve made changes, when they made the initial changes to like shooting and the AK and stuff like that, and the cooldown, they had to make an extra change for people who bursted in such a fashion to allow that to be a thing, because before it would break that kind of play. So on his second burst, his shooting would be inaccurate.
They changed? I don't remember.
Well, they made the initial set of changes to, they wanted to kind of reward precision shooting and make spraying worse, right? So that they increased the...
That was the update they reverted.
So, well, they didn't revert it per se, I don't think, the one I'm talking about, but they changed it. They adjusted it more, so if you went for like bursts, like that, like a chain of bursts, you wouldn't be punished for that shooting style.
Reminds me of a famous clip from Device on Cobblestone on Plateau, where he just kills 3 people immediately with two bullet bursts, all in different locations. It was pretty awesome. If anyone knows what clip I'm talking about, I'm sure you do.
That was so insane. Just $20,000 of equipment value, not a single point of damage, like 3 seconds.
That's why he has been heralded as a star player, although his inconsistency is what plagues his career. He's got great ups, but there are pretty savage downs as well. He's making his way forwards. Stanislav! Stanislav. Gonna have to say his name 3 times every time now. They appease everyone. Appease all of you. 2v2 here for Optic. Make it a 2v1. The bomb is ticking though, and Yellow's coming in from the flank, but will he get there in time? Well, he's dead now, so no. Very
That's a concussion, at the very least. And Optic Gaming moved to match point versus Luminosity in the first of 4 North American games today. Train will be the next map after that. After this. Not that, but this.
I do feel that in this game that Luminosity have appeared much less prepared than Optic. Optic do actually look quite prepared for Nuke. Like, and it doesn't look like Optic are really prepared, but it feels like they have a couple good rounds on the T side. They know how to vary them, and they have a good default, and then that just kind of worked for them. I wouldn't say this is like a specialty map for them, but that's kind of how this looks to me. That is efficient practice. That is.
Shazam picks off the bomb carrier immediately, and inroads have been made towards the B-bomb site via secret, but somebody will have to go back and get that bomb. Bomb has now been collected. Oh, that's awkward. But the CZ betrays him. Or perhaps he betrayed himself. 2 versus 4 in what remains of Luminosity. And now it's Nekiz, the man who has to go and get the bomb. It's like, I got the bomb, guys! Guys?
Guys.
There is the game. 16-9 for Optic. 27 kills for Config. Lights out performance from him, for sure.
They look good, man. They looked really good. Like, the contrast from week 1 is dramatic. Optic really look like they have it together, and on one of the most testing maps, one that's so hard to stay coordinated on. So.
Yeah, it's really cool for me because for me, like, where most teams are going to struggle is like understanding how to run the T side. The CT sides are pretty easy to work with. The basics, everyone's played Nuke, everyone knows the basics of this map, and you don't have to do anything too crazy. You don't have to take crazy aggressions. It's a lot about the Ts making moves and reading the T movement and reacting. But it's that T side, and it does feel like they prepared just enough, and they prepared it really well. But I feel like they have. Because they have to make up for a lot of maps. Like this new lineup, they're incorporating a new structure, having to learn all the grenades, all the timings and so on, and setups. That takes a lot of work. So this just shows to me that Optic have an effective practice regime.
Can Stanislav... I need to get used to it. Can Stanislav take Optic to the heights of North American Counter-Strike once again, and maybe beyond after that? Config 3 points of damage off that 3,000 mark, which you rarely see in these matches, but definitely a highlight reel for him. And again, it's going to be train between these two teams. That's going to be coming up after the break. Any final thoughts on Nuke?
just that I think this is just maybe speaking a little bit early, but this is actually very important for Stan's career to have like another team of 5 players that none of them I think have ever been seen working together for him to be able to make that work.
Is it Cajun and Config?
Yeah.
They must be on North at the same.
Yeah,
time.
I guess with his last team it was more like the fact that all those guys you knew were good, just kind of like these, but they had never worked all together on a team.
And like the roles must be so different.
Yeah.
So, and also if you look at the other names on the team without Stan, you look at it like, well, it looks really random. It looks really weird. Honestly, to me, I don't understand it when I look at it. But he is making it look like a unit right now, and I think he does have to have that credit. Train is also used to be one of the go-to maps, and that he was really good at the T-side calling and setting up his team on. So, and Shazam's a good AWPer, so it'd be really interesting to see that. I think might be quite dominant.
We'll have to find out. Train is coming up after the break, which we will go to now. So stay tuned. And number 2, as in match number 2, is coming up shortly. Ciao.